On episode 29, we discuss the many faces of electronic musician and composer Richard D. James, also known as the Aphex Twin. From ambient to abrasive, from the calm to the chaotic. Welcome to I Got a Song.
And welcome back once again, one and all, to I Got a Song. This is episode 29, episodio 29. I am your host, Clay, and as always, I have co-creator, co-host Michael Long with me in the house.
What's up, Clay?
Man, it is good to see you. You know what? This is like the first episode that we have done in person together since, tell me what episode? I Guess Trivia.
Well, I was going to say all the way back to like episode 0, like our little pilot
there
training
was that
program.
One, but then we did a pair together
we did a pair
at your house.
You're right. Oh, let me think.
Aha. You got it now? Episode 7 and 8.
7 and 8. Okay. I don't have the numbers tied to the songs. Let It Be
and The Ballad of El Gudo.
The Ballad of El Gudo. There you go. Yeah.
Which we listened to this morning.
For those that don't know, which is practically everyone, we usually record quite a few miles apart. We use the magic of the internet to do our show.
Yes.
And we record remotely. Clay's usually in his rock room / podcast recording studio. I am usually in a hotel room somewhere because of work, and we link up and record the show that way, and it's worked out great so far. But
yeah, it's the only way that we can make it work.
Every now and then the stars align, and we can be in the same room.
Yes, Michael told me he's gonna be home from work for this week, and I was just like, I'm just gonna take a vacation day.
And I'm so glad you did, sir.
I am too, man. It's just been the best day so far. So, you know what? For those of you who've never joined us before, what we do here is we present songs to each other. Michael has no idea what's coming. Today, I'm going to be hosting the show, so I'm going to be bringing a song to him. I've done a little bit of research on it. It's something I know about. I can talk about it a little bit, but he has no idea what's coming. And so, that's what's going to happen. So we usually... we're going to do a little bit of admin stuff up here up front before we, forget things. So, again, this is episode 29. I'm Michael Long. Nope, I'm Clay. Michael Long's over here.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am Michael Long, and I am joining Clay Collins.
So, if you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at I Got a Song Podcast.
Or you can also find us on Twitter at I Got a Song Pod.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, X, formerly known as Twitter.
That's correct. And also, we would like to hear from you. If you want to send us a Google voicemail, 323-903-SONG.
In addition, you can find us on most major podcast platforms. Right now, you can find us on Spotify, on Apple Music, Amazon, and iHeartRadio.
Exactly
right?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Nailed it.
And let's just take a look at the analytics real quick, just for posterity's sake. I know that this is the most interesting part for people.
Hey, for a young up-and-coming podcast like us, and for all the people that have been with us since the beginning, it's always exciting to hear the growth.
It is, yeah.
It is. And
I
feel like the true fans that are out there would appreciate hearing this as well. So let her rip.
All right. So last time, I think the last time we did this, we had like 18 followers. We're up to 21. And I'm
fantastic.
I know. That's really nice. So
thank you all 21 of you. Well, probably 19 because I follow us, and I'm sure Clay follows us as well.
Yes. We've established that that we are at least 2 of those. And then probably our mothers. Not your mother? Okay, my mother's for sure is listening. So I got to watch my language.
Watch it go.
This is a PG kind of podcast. It's just not much to worry about. Our number one most listened to episode so far is, you want to take a guess?
It used to be the hammock episode, but
that's number 2.
Oh, okay. So Love in the Void is number 2. So let me think. Is it a more recent or interesting?
Episode 23, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, is our number 1 episode.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah, that's got 23 or 22 listens, and then Hammock's got 18.
All right. All right. Now, that makes me excited. Clay did kind of, not to get too much in the weeds into it, but Marvin Gaye is like a top 5 artist for me, Michael. And I already had like 3 songs on my list to kind of debate for when I wanted to drop a Marvin Gaye episode, and Clay just
made that easy for you.
He made it easy. That was
just
actually
yanked the rug out from under
the
you.
The song "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" was not on my list, as it turns out.
It was not. Okay,
I still got 3 songs in the magazine ready to go for Marvin Gaye, but
eventually
I'm going to give it some space. I'm going to give it a little space.
Yeah. I think we've talked about before, like trying not to repeat an artist until we get to like at least number 100 or something.
That's going to be tough for me, anyway.
Nah, man, we can do it. There's so much music out there, and you know, like we say, it's such a gift. And man, we love doing this show.
Oh yeah, we do. What do you got for me today, Clay? I know it's your turn to host, so I believe you've got a song all lined up for me. Is that right?
I do. I'm going to do something a little bit different this morning. I am going to play you a couple of live clips here in the studio that I would like you to listen to. Okay. And then I will, you know, in post, I will clip them and put them in here so that they're a little bit easier to hear.
Roger that.
All right. While I'm doing that, I hope is that a good spot for us to put all our admin stuff right up here at the beginning?
I'm good with it.
Okay. You know, there's this show that I've mentioned before called Star Trek: The Next Conversation. Okay, you're rolling your eyes.
I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm closing my eyes and smiling in agreement with you.
But
you've talked about this show for years.
What's funny is that this conversation that we're having is a lot like what they have. Now, I listened to their most recent episode like yesterday, okay? And they've been doing the show for like 7 years.
I was going to say, you've been talking about them for a while. Yeah.
7 years. And this episode, their most recent episode, they're still talking about where to put that stuff.
Oh, they still debate that. Okay.
Yeah, where to put the listener hails and where to put the, you know.
My thought is get the admin stuff out of the way so that you get the meat of the episode, because I really like how we close. We stop talking about it, and then you usually kind of lead into the whole, you know, music is a gift, and I really like that our show kind of closes with that. I don't.
Cool.
I kind of want that to be the parting shot and not all the ads for how to find us. I kind of want to get that out of the way.
So I don't feel bad whenever we're talking about where to put stuff, because these guys are pros and they've been doing it for a really long time. Yeah.
And they are good. I have listened to one episode of The Next Conversation.
No kidding.
It's the one that you shared with me like years ago.
Is it because it had my voice on it?
Oh,
because, yeah. Because I called in a couple times and they've read
I listened to the whole thing. And it's Star Trek is not my jam, but but
the way they do it,
well done. The show is well done.
The way they do it, they've got an expert, and then they've got a layman who's become a fan. Anyway, so if you like,
sometimes depending on the artist or song or whatever, that kind of we kind of fall into that too, because you'll share someone with me that you are way familiar with that I just have no idea, like the Smiths or.
And I don't even know the Smiths that well.
Well, you know them,
but I knew them better than
exponentially better than me.
Yeah, so each show, when you bring a song, you're the authority. A song, and when I bring a song, I'm the authority.
But sometimes we're both the authority on the same song.
Oh, I love it when that happens.
Every now and then,
those will go a little bit long.
Every now and then.
One, so if you like Star Trek, or if you just like to laugh, those are funny guys. Or if you think you might like it, go find Star Trek: The Next Conversation and leave them a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and then that will get you into the Admirals Club. Yes,
hey, and while you're at it,
and I'm in the Admirals Club.
Leave us a 5-star.
Oh yeah,
rating
leave
while
us
you're
a
at
5-star review. That'd be awesome. That would make us feel nice. Also, they do a little section on there called Andy's Accent Corner, because Andy, one of the hosts, Secunda. Yeah, one of the things they do on there is, like, whenever you do something like that's like you're really enthusiastic or you're triumphant, you say Secunda. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's part of the show. Anyway, they do this thing called Andy's Accent Corner, because he tries to do these. See, they're international, like us, not because they get people call in from all over, and they've got different accents. And so, anyway, I was thinking, Mikey, we could throw on our accent a little bit. No, you don't want to?
Accent and like
our East Texas accent.
Oh no, I don't want to put my East Texas.
No,
accent.
all right.
I don't want to put my East Texas accent out there
Mikey.
more than it already is.
Give them what they like.
I don't know if they
Give 'em a
like
little
that
bit.
or not. I think we've already lost a couple of those extra followers that we just had.
You know, after a couple of drinks and a late night, those accents they start to come out.
They tumble out.
They really do. All right. Anyway,
Song. I got a song.
here we go. I'm going to play a little sample of a song here for you, Michael. We're going to get into the meat of the episode. Okay. So listen to this. Okay. Got a good feel for that?
I'm listening.
All right.
It's not ringing a bell. Should it?
Good? No?
Okay.
All right. Switch gears a little bit.
This is like some ambient synth stuff.
It's nice, right?
I'm really curious where you're going with this. I really am.
Have you ever listened to stuff like this?
All the time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you think about on those tracks?
I mean, I like them. I love music like that. But I mean, you've known that about me for a long time, that I really dig instrumental, all various forms of instrumental, from like the hammock type stuff all the way to film score, all the way to ambient drone. I mean, just I love instrumental music.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's just go right into this. Let's go right into the song.
Please do.
And let's just. So what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to the entire song. You guys are going to hear a little clip of it. Can't play the entire song just for legal reasons, I believe. But we're going to play a little clip of it. But we're going to pause right now and we're going to listen to the whole thing live together. And then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss it. Sound good?
That's right. Sounds good to me. Oh, before we drop, I mean, are you going to tell me the name of the song, or is this going to be like?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you haven't told me what the song is
Yeah,
yet.
I have to. I'm going to text it to you.
Oh, I mean,
Now let's see. This is episode 29, and I still haven't quite got it down.
be all right.
Okay, I'm
That's
so
why there's two
excited
of us.
about doing all these other things.
All right. So what Clay's doing, even though we're in the same room, he's going to find a link to the
Even
song,
though we're in the same room.
a link to the song, and he's going to text it to me, and
Yes,
and it'll be like.
Even though I could just show it to you.
Yeah, you
No,
really
okay, I'm
could,
gonna text
but
it to you.
just text it to me. Let's keep
We're gonna
let's keep it going, 'cause
We're gonna
it's-
remain
it's-
true to form.
It is.
I cannot wait for you to see what is coming your way.
It's like a gift that just drops in my lap, and I open it up and take a look. And sometimes it's shock, sometimes it's awe, sometimes it's shock and awe, sometimes it's questionable.
Yes, yes, and this is what we love to do this show. Now, Michael, I believe, has
All right.
received the gift and he's about to open
Let's
it.
see. I'm going to the text. I see something from Clay Collins. Oh, we've got. It looks like. Is that Aphex Twin? Okay,
Yes, sir.
Aphex Twin girl boy song. That's
That's correct.
Saying that right? Okay,
is exactly
girl boy
right.
song by Aphex Twin. This will be interesting because I have not gotten an ear for Aphex Twin yet, but
Right. That is why I picked this.
man, okay,
That
all
is
right.
why you are here.
I'm digging this.
That is
All
why
right.
we do this show.
Let's jump into this.
All right, we'll be right back. from the 1996 album Richard D. James album. That is Aphex Twin with Girl Boy Song. Michael Long, tell me your thoughts.
I gotta say, there's a little bit to unpack with this track here in a good way. In a good way.
Nice.
I don't want to put any kind of negative tone on it, but it's just I got a few thoughts.
Now, those first two tracks that I played leading up were also Aphex Twin.
Were they? Okay, I was wondering
Yes.
how they tie it in. Okay.
Yes.
I did not recognize them, but I believe I've heard this song before. Isn't it kind of one of his more known songs?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I figured.
That's correct. Where do you think you might have heard this? I'm curious. Just
Probably from you.
probably.
I mean, there's no other place.
I wasn't leading you into that.
There's no other place that I would have heard
Okay.
Aphex Twin on my own because, like I said, I'm not a fan. I just haven't ever gotten an ear for him. It's fair to say him, right? It's just
Yes,
the one guy, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
It is one person, and that is his face on the cover. That is his face all over the. If you've seen any of his videos where he superimposes his face onto children and
I think I've seen.
and scantily clad women.
Would it have been the video for this song?
No,
or
no.
just videos in general that he's done.
You may have seen the "Come to Daddy" video.
I've
we need
seen a video of his where he's superimposed his face on people,
We should-
other people.
We need to watch it.
Sometime.
No, we need to pause it and watch it. Okay, no, we won't.
Well,
Anyway, I'll let you know.
You do you, Clay, and I'm gonna just keep talking to myself about Aphex Twin and my thoughts on Aphex Twin, and I'll dig up my own facts about Aphex Twin while you're over there watching your video, and then by the time you're done watching your video,
Yeah?
I'll be like, oh, you know what? Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us on the show, and Clay's back. Hey, you want to say anything else? No, too late. Goodbye.
This is an insane new format we're coming up here. Okay, well, anyway, suffice it to say, it's a pretty weird video. It's a little bit frightening. You familiar with the song "Come to Daddy"?
No.
Okay, well, we're going to play a little clip of it right here because there's no way you can talk about Aphex Twin and not talk about "Come to Daddy." Okay,
It might be one of these kind of like girl boy song where I've probably heard it or may recognize it in some form.
Nope.
No,
you may
don't think so?
recognize it. This is Aphex Twin. This is like his only thing that he's done that's like this. Really, this kind of
That kind of
it
sounded
gets
more
more
like
and more insane and more death metal-y and more
Really?
abrasive and insane. And the video is just perfect along with it. It's
nice.
yeah, it's a little it's it's a little unsettling. But I mean it's funny. I mean it's great. I think it's great.
I'm glad that you said unsettling because I'm going to kind of lean on that feeling a little bit whenever I talk about my thoughts on Girl Boy Song. Do you have any,
yeah,
do you have any
totally.
facts on Aphex Twin that you want to kind of roll into, or do you want me to just go ahead and give you my?
No, I mean yeah,
Ideas.
Aphex Twin is one person. His name is Richard D. James, and he's a composer. First and foremost, I like to call him say he's a composer, multi-instrumentalist, and any electronic musician. Call him what you will, but massively, hugely influential in the electronic music space and elsewhere. So yeah, he's been doing it since he was a kid, where he first started taking tape machines and little synthesizers and taking them apart and altering and
figuring out
modifying
how things
and
work and
yeah,
what he can
and-
do, what he can't do, that sort of thing.
Yeah, probably a lot of just like an endless trial and error, I would imagine.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
But yeah, and so a lot of these sounds, that he's making are it's all like just homemade stuff. This is nowadays you can hit a couple of buttons and buy a couple little patches and make all kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this guy's kind of the originator of that kind of thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what you think
So
when you
Girl Boy Song, it's like two pretty different styles that are kind of mashed together into one song, and I feel like
Yes.
oh yeah, no doubt. And so you've got your kind of ambient pad style synthy stuff where it's like a
Little bit of that.
beautiful kind of a nice orchestral type of feel. Maybe not even orchestral. That might not be the right word, but like
There's a string section.
okay, yeah. There's some strings. There's kind of a floating melody through there,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yes.
And then he comes in with the drums.
Yes.
And like unsettling is like not unsettling in a bad way. Like I'm not creeped out, but it's like you just as you're getting into the kind of the groove of the orchestral part, these drums kick in, and it's like oh man, okay, and it takes you to a different spot, and it's cool. I like it, but I made the comment while we were listening to the song, like, how do you even program that? You know, how do you? Because it sounds, it's on rhythm. If you're paying attention to the drums, it's on rhythm, but your ear wants to tell you that it's not.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that that's intentional.
Yes.
To throw you off course. Does that make sense?
I almost feel like most of the time that the string section is keeping the rhythm and not the drums. And the drums are,
Yeah.
I mean, they are, okay, when the drums first start, there's he's riding like a hi-hat, not a hi-hat, but a ride, like a tss, tss, tss,
Yeah.
tss, tss, tss. And then from there, then it just explodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most traditional part of the drums. It's just that little opening, tss, 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 and then it goes
And then it goes into the wild and crazy.
But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like there's two separate layers. Well, I mean,
It's
there's many
two-
layers, but there's two separate conversations, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a girl and there's
yeah,
a boy.
Yeah. And so, I wouldn't assign one to the other, but, you've got the string side, which is kind of your
That would be the
calm,
more feminine
contemplative.
side, I would think. But
Huh?
I would think of it that my gut would go that's the more of the feminine side.
It very well could be.
It doesn't matter.
But you've got your calm, contemplative side with the orchestral part. And then you've got your kind of manic,
Yeah, that's a good word.
not
Frantic.
directionless, maybe almost
It
directionless.
seems like it.
With the percussion track.
I feel like, but I know it may. I think it feels it certainly feels that way. But I feel like
but it works together well.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, you've got to get into the song. You can't just be like, "Oh, this sounds weird," and then hit stop. You got to finish it,
Right.
And you're into it by the time you've listened to it for a little while. And I can imagine Aphex Twin is not for everyone, but I like
Agreed.
it only because well, one, it's instrumental, and I love instrumental stuff, all various kinds of stuff instrumental. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I've heard this song over the years. You've been an Aphex Twin for a long fan for a long time. I believe Christopher's been one for a long time as well. The two of you guys have jammed on Aphex Twin for a long time.
Yeah, I think I first heard about him, Aphex Twin, from our friend Father Photius, and he heard about him
that's
from
right.
Kevin Sparks. I don't know if I can say his name, but I did.
Man.
But he was a
callbacks
grade
there.
ahead of us, and he was like, when I thought of like a grunge guy who was into cool music, where
Was he the
like,
personification of
he
that?
was that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I actually think he kind of even looked a little bit like Kurt Cobain a little bit.
Well, I knew him. I didn't know him like you guys did.
But could you ever know him?
Well, that's up to you and Father Photius.
That's up to that's legend of Kevin. The legend of Kevin.
There's a certain mythos. How do you
Mythos?
Mythos.
Yeah. Well, the legend of Kevin. We'll call it the legend of
Legend.
Kevin. That's a song right there. Anyway, I think we heard about it from him, and this would have been so. This album is from 1996. The album, it actually. Girl Boy EP came out just before this album.
Oh, so that goes back further than I thought. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a couple of months, like a few months before Richard D. James came out. So this was 96. And I think that whenever I was hearing about this, it was already a couple of years old, because I think I'm pretty sure we listened to Come to Daddy in high school and thought that it was just like
just
insane,
metal
just great.
like everything else.
Yes,
that was
it's
exploding
97
at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Clay, would you say? I doubt this is your absolute favorite Aphex Twin song. Probably not. Is that a fair statement?
It's up there. It's top.
It's
top 3 or 4 or 5.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is 100% one of my.
So you chose it more because it's one of your favorites, and not necessarily because you think I would have.
I think
been
it's a
open to it.
really strong example of Aphex Twin, because I mean, there's a lot of different faces to Aphex Twin.
Well, yeah.
In many ways, but yeah, I picked this one because it's so interesting. There's the 2 different voices. There's the strings and there's the rhythm section, and then I know how much you love, instrumental music, and this one it just grabbed me a few times, and I gotta shout out one other podcast, Discord and Rhyme, okay, because they did an entire episode. They break down entire albums, and they did Richard D. James' album.
Oh, okay.
And so I learned a few things and listened to that episode a couple of times. So shout out to them. You guys
Could
are
that
doing
have
amazing work.
been maybe the inspiration for you coming up with this song today, or was this already on your list?
No, this one was this one's been on my list for a few weeks, I think.
Okay. And just for anyone out there listening, when we talk about the list, Clay and I both have these separate lists of songs, and when we're inspired by a song or when we're inspired by an artist, at least what I do, I don't know how Clay does it, but what I do is I've got this note in my phone that is just, it grows longer by the day, basically, but I throw on any song that I think would be an interesting song or artist or whatever to use on the show,
Right.
And so that's what I was asking. So.
Yeah, that's the way I do it too. Is I'm driving down the road and a song grabs me or moves me or something, and if I think it might be interesting, then yeah, it makes the list. So
very cool. Now, you, Clay, you like some electronic music. I feel like it's a fair statement that you are not as into electronic music as I am, and I love electronic music. I especially love electronic ambient stuff like let me think. Well, like Moby, kind of his mid 90s to maybe early 2000s.
You like electronic ambient with a beat.
I love beats. I love the beats.
Yes,
I love bass. I love rhythm. I bet you really
zero
in
liked
on that stuff.
I bet you really liked Enigma in the 90s, didn't you?
I still do. Yes.
Cause I hear the voice who says, I love you, I'll kill you.
Yeah, I like Enigma.
You would also like Bowery Electric. I've sent
I
you
do like
Bowery
Bowery
Electric.
Electric. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. That is nice. Yeah.
Christopher got me into Bowery Electric back in either right before we graduated high school or right after, because I remember cruising with him in his truck and he said, dude, I got to play something for you. And he had a Bowery Electric CD and he put it in. I was like,
That
this
tracks.
is right up my alley.
Totally. Yeah. You would really like that. Shout out Bowery Electric.
Absolutely.
Come on the pod. I don't know if they're around. But yeah, no, that's totally your vibe. So with Aphex Twin, there is that. Okay, he's got there's Selected Ambient Works Volume 1
I've heard of this album.
and Selected Ambient Works Volume 2.
I've probably not heard of Volume 2.
Okay, the second excerpt that we played in the intro, not the piano one, but the second one, that ambient one.
The more pad.
Yes, that one is
orchestra
from
pad type
Selected
thing.
Ambient Works 2. Now that is that's a double disc album.
And it's nothing but that.
It's stuff like that, yeah. Without there might be one or two tracks where there's any kind of discernible beat.
Interesting.
Okay.
So it's all like
It's very chill like
way
that.
ambient. Yeah.
Some of it goes. It's interesting. Some of it goes. That one was like a really calm, peaceful vibe, a little melancholy. But there's some that go a little bit dark and are a little bit creepy. They're really interesting. They're fun to listen to. It's definitely something to put on. I mean, I've slept to it many times. But Selected Ambient Works Volume 1 is collected stuff from 85 to 92, and that came out in 1992, and that's still widely revered as a electronic music stalwart? Staple. You said staple. I said stalwart.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Clay. That was I think I've said it like 3 times in the episode now, but I have heard that, and it was good to hear it again. And I like that you picked a song that you really like by Aphex Twin. It's one of your top tracks, but also it's like a representative of. Like, would it be a fair statement to say that if you were to offer one track to someone and be like, I've never heard of Aphex Twin. Okay,
this is the one.
Listen to this one. If this intrigues you, dig in. If not, avoid.
I would start here. I would start with this album. And this album, it is called Richard D. James' album. I really wish I could do the entire album. It's really interesting.
Right.
And it's got it's bizarre, you know. It all works together. It is a complete album. It's
very cool.
It's really cool. I've got a lot of other Aphex Twin stuff. There's have you ever heard any of the lore about Aphex Twin, the man, Richard D. James?
I don't believe so.
Some interesting facts that I've heard over the years, more than a couple times, that he owned a building that was a bank, and that he lived in the vault. And
okay, interesting.
Yeah. Also, this is true. He is a known collector of military vehicles. Like he owns some sort of personnel carrier that has a machine gun mounted on the back of it and drives it around Cornwall, which I believe is where he lives or is from.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whenever they see this armed personnel carrier driving down the road, there goes Richard.
There's Richard.
There goes Rich. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so he doesn't perform live. I mean, if you think about a live show, the times that he has done it, it's basically him on stage sitting in front of a computer. And that's so
interesting.
I mean, there's not much of a live element.
I was going to say,
when it comes to him.
You don't need much else if you're putting on the type of show that for his music.
Yeah. One other thing I'll mention about Aphex Twin, on this section, on this song, I'm sorry, on Girl Boy Song, these string sections, okay, these string plucks, boom, boom,
Like
boom,
a stab or a sting or
boom,
whatever they call it. Yeah.
boom, boom. I think it's called a pluck. I don't know. Plucking.
Sure.
It's like they're plucking the string.
Yeah.
That's all him doing it and recording it by hand. And then all the string sections is him playing all this stuff.
Yeah, so he's kind of a one-man
just
show
him.
with everything, right?
Yeah, all that and
He like
all that
writes,
orchestration.
records, and I assume he probably produces his own stuff too, huh?
Yeah, he does it all. He's like
I mean, I have
Prince or
such
something.
mad respect for someone like that who can
Yeah.
do everything himself.
And like that and
Or herself.
I read somewhere that he bought like a busted violin or something at a garage sale and cleaned it up a little bit, and that's what he used on this track.
Interesting.
He just takes whatever he wants to do and twists it and turns it and modifies it, and I love it.
That's cool.
just
That's
love
really
that.
cool. I respect that.
And so there's different there's different flavors of Aphex Twin. You can go to sleep and listen to Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, or you could listen to
Or I could fall asleep and then be awakened in the middle of the night by that other metally song that you played.
well, now that you bring that one up, here's another example of this is called Ventolin. Okay, this was the single. Michael has no idea what's about to hit him. This is from the I Care Because You Do album.
Okay.
My dog is barking now. This is abrasive. There's the high pitched. Okay.
So the word dissonant comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for playing that clip. You know what the mental image that came into my mind, and this is going to be, it's a movie callback to anyone who's fans of movies from the 90s. Do you remember the movie Seven? Of course you do. Of course you do. Do you remember how kind of creepy the intro credits was to that movie? Okay. Well, this is your homework, Larry. Go back and watch Seven, or at least watch the intro. I'm sure the intro is on YouTube.
Okay.
But there's all these just like creepy images of kind of a foreshadowing of what you're going to see in the movie. And anyone who knows this movie knows that it is unsettling to say the least. But it's a fantastic movie. But just be prepared if you haven't seen it. But the intro, it's actually a Nine Inch Nails track. It's a remix of Closer by Nine Inch Nails, but it's kind of this darker, more sinister version of it. And
Aphex Twin remixed some Nine Inch Nails stuff.
It sounds like this, like what you just played, that Aphex Twin. What were you saying?
I was going to say that I'm so glad that you brought this up, because Aphex Twin is notorious for odd remixes.
Oh.
So here's one. You can find Aphex Twin remixes for all kinds of different artists, including Nine Inch Nails. Are they reinterpretations of that artist's song? Sometimes, sort of. But one legendary thing is that he was commissioned to do a remix for the Lemonheads. Now, we've talked about the Lemonheads twice today.
Like this morning already.
This morning, strangely. Okay, but anyway, Aphex Twin, if you can imagine doing a Lemonheads remix. Okay, the Lemonheads are like a 90s alt jangle pop rock kind of thing. Okay. Anyway, so the courier showed up to pick up the tape to deliver it to the Lemonheads, and he had forgotten to make it completely. And so he said, "Oh, okay, I'll be right back." And he went inside and he grabbed a random DAT cassette and he said, "Here you go." And he gave it to them, and they liked it, but it never got out. I don't think it ever went out. But anyway, speaking of, I believe that's. Do you have any other questions about Aphex Twin? Or
no, man. I just appreciate the share, and
I would really recommend that you listen to some more Aphex Twin, and I can send you some songs.
Yeah, please do. Send me because you know what I like and what I don't like. So send me stuff you know I would like, and then send me some more send me a couple of tracks that are out there.
Now, are you going to, having listened to this one time, how likely are you to let it play again if it shows up in your DJX or whatever?
I'll give it another spin or two. And I will say,
is it too busy for you?
I think the drums are a little busy for me because you know how I like my beat and I like my rhythm.
Yeah, you like a steady.
Yes. I
4/4.
I like the feel of that beat in my chest.
Yeah.
And
you like a steady, predictable beat.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be predictable. It just needs to be.
Might not be a good word.
It just needs to be more. What's the word? palatable. God, I hate saying it.
No, I totally get it because
You know
most
what I mean?
people,
'Cause
like a lot of people,
it's
are
cool.
just like some
It's
people would
really
just
cool.
completely write this
But
off as noise.
I can't get into it when I've got to get over the fact that the drums are just not going to take me there. If you're going to have drums, they have to take me there, and it's hard to get there with these drums.
It's pretty untraditional, and it's not your and you know I've got my brand of, you've got, like, for example, you've got your brand of metal, I've got my brand of metal, you've got your brand of electronic, I've got my brand of electronic, and I knew that this song was not really in your lane, but that's part of why I brought it in.
And I'm glad you did because again, it's intriguing. I like how intriguing the song is. I like how it's like you edged open the doorway. There's all this good music by Aphex Twin behind that door, and you just kind of kicked it open with the one song that kind of combines his efforts into one thing. So yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, and his catalog is pretty extensive, and I owned quite a bit of Aphex Twin material for a while, and he's got other, like, names, like just like AFX and Polygon Window, Caustic Window. There's a few other different monikers that he's been under, but I used to collect, his stuff, and I still have a pretty decent amount. Looking from here, I can see probably 10 titles of Aphex Twin stuff that I can see. I've got.
Wow, and you said you've pared down from what you had to.
Yeah,
about
I had
10
most of the
things.
Analog Bubble Bath series, and then I think I still got that Polygon Window CD and a few others. But yeah, Aphex Twin, man, for in certain moods, man, he's and this one to me, I'm not gonna lie, man. This song I listen to these songs a lot, and like the most recent time I listened to it, actually I haven't even listened to it today, which is strange. But I listened to it yesterday on the way home from work, and I teared up a little bit. Those strings, man. The part when the drums stop, and it's just those strings.
Yesterday, when you listened to it, had you already made up your mind that today's episode was going to be,
Yeah.
No, we were actually going to record this a few days ago, and for life reasons, we weren't able to. Was this going to be what you
Yes.
picked from the other night? Oh,
Yes.
so you've been on this for like a week.
Yes. Maybe
Nice.
maybe a little longer.
All right, cool.
Because I think I decided. Yeah, I've been wanting to do this episode for 2 weeks, probably, and I had another great experience yesterday on the way home. That's decided probably the next. It's probably the next episode that I want to do, and it's one that I've had on the list for a very long time, and I've pushed it back many times, but I think the time is coming. And you've got one of those too, I think, that you've been pushing back 4 or 5.
I was going to mention that when I host again. The ongoing saga of the song that just is right there, just can't reach the finish line yet.
Well, I definitely encourage you to listen to Aphex Twin, dig into him a little bit. And, man, that's all I got on Aphex Twin. But before we go any further...
I appreciate the share. You got something else, though, don't you, Clay?
Yeah, several weeks ago, like the past 5 episodes, I'd sent Michael a package in the mail. And this is another way in which we pay homage to that Star Trek The Next Conversation podcast, because they have on-air openings of packages, and it's very fun. So I've got one of those for Michael today. I just had this idea of something that I just had to get for him. And he has no idea what it is. So this is like a literal gift.
What I'm holding in my hand, so just a little bit of context, if you can, if the listener can bear with us a second. I've had this package for... Let's see, it was stamped on like February 4th, and so I would have gotten it a few days later.
So it's been a month.
It's been about a month. It's been in my possession about almost a month. And because we usually record when I'm on the road, I have carried this package with me on 2 separate work trips. And so this package has traveled thousands of miles with me in a suitcase.
And we've forgotten the past 5 episodes.
We've recorded several episodes with this thing in my possession, and we kept forgetting to reference it at the end of an episode to open. But
we've really built it up quite a bit.
I'm holding it in my hands, and so we won't forget.
Yes.
And Clay, can I do the honors?
Please do.
Ahead? All right.
Yeah, please rip it open and let's see what we got in here.
I have no idea what this is. I also can't open packages or read or write in public, so. Let me get back in the microphone. So
man, I wish I had brought a little knife in here or something.
Okay, no. I got it open.
Okay, he's got it open.
I got it open.
Right,
so I'm not even going to look in. I'm just going to reach in.
He's gonna reach
I'm going to look away. It feels like a CD.
Okay. Now, what do you... What? What do we got, Michael? Tell the folks what we got.
All right. Clay knows that I'm a big fan of movie soundtracks.
Oh, he loves soundtracks.
I love soundtrack albums, but I also love film score composition albums.
Yes.
This is a soundtrack album from the movie Stepmom.
It sure is.
Starring Julia Roberts,
Yes.
Susan Sarandon,
Yep.
and Ed Harris.
Yes.
And the CD is in decent shape. Let's see. I'm opening it up. We got the full disc. The disc itself is in good shape. So you did good there.
Oh,
sir.
Good. That's good to know. And original music by?
So it says music from the motion picture Stepmom. So let's see what we got here. Now, I did not know this until we talked about it on the episode a few episodes back. This is music composed by John Williams. That is the John Williams of Star Wars,
Jaws, Indiana Jones. Come on.
E.T.
Not exactly a lightweight.
Just about every Steven Spielberg movie that's been out there. I dare to say every one of them.
And Stepmom.
And then some. And then Stepmom. Just out of nowhere. Well, you know what it is? We talked about this too. It's directed by Chris Columbus, and Chris Columbus, I believe he was the director of the Home Alone movies, the first 2 Home Alone movies, and John Williams did the music for those.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So like that little music intro to the movie Home Alone that's so famous.
Be on the lookout for our new movie podcast where we discuss movie soundtracks, lesser known John Williams favorites.
I've got a soundtrack episode coming your way, Clay.
Whether
you like it or not,
I can't wait. Hey, read off some of some of those tracks that we got on there.
So,
what makes this? Why did I send that to you?
I know exactly why you sent it, because most of these songs are most of this album is the John Williams compositions that come through the movie. There's a song here at the end. Going back to which episode was it? 26,
I think.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Oh. And apparently it's a pretty, it's a pivotal scene in the movie that this song takes place. I don't know because I have not seen Stepmom. Although Clay has.
Yeah. Yeah, episode 23 for the backstory on this gift here, if you want to go back to Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
I appreciate this, Clay. I'm going to add this to my CD collection. You know where my CD collection is, by the way? Because I'm looking at your CD collection, and it's gorgeous. You've got this like bookshelf-style thing with all your CDs on it, and they're in alphabetical order and presented very nicely. Mine are in bins in the attic.
Goodness.
Because I don't listen to CDs anymore.
I don't either.
I don't have a CD player in my vehicle. I don't.
Oh, I do.
I have a CD player in the house, but it's like, it's a Blu-ray player. It's not a CD player.
Okay.
I don't have a dedicated way of listening to CDs.
You have to stick it in the PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for years.
But thank you. I appreciate that. So let me tell you that Stepmom has been to Paris and back 4 times. And it has been to Amsterdam and back once.
And all that time, you could have been rocking out to Stepmom in your Sony Discman.
And I didn't. I didn't. I lost the opportunity. So
Well, it's my
thank
fault.
you. I thank you. And what I'll do on the way home from your house today is I'll pull up Stepmom on Spotify
Okay.
and I'll listen to it. And that'll be my homework for today. Thank you, Clay. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for enjoying us and just coming along for the ride. If you enjoyed this song today and it makes you think of, I don't know why anybody might think of you or why you might think of somebody when you hear Girl Boy. Actually, I think of Father Photius when I hear this song.
Yeah.
I do.
That's
Because
fair.
he music is a gift, and he gifted me with this album. You know?
Fantastic.
Yeah, he brought this to my attention. So it is a gift, and I'm still enjoying this gift years later, and I hope, maybe this will put you on a path to find some interesting Aphex Twin music and kind of branch out there. So
Absolutely.
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, music is a gift, like we say, and be sure to share generously, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks again for joining me,
on the
Michael
next
Long.
episode. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you again.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I think we got it.
Stop.
Thank you very much for listening to the show today. If you enjoyed what you heard, please listen to our other episodes. Share us with your friends, electronic and otherwise. You can find us on Instagram at I Got a Song Podcast. You can find us on Twitter X at I Got a Song Pod. You can call and leave us a message at 32390 song. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.